97 Out of Box. This is DJ Eric, one part of the Big Throw and Eric show. Right now you're tuned in to Tea with Monroe. Ooh, sex, love, scandal, harassment. Oh, you get the tea right now. Tea with Monroe podcast. You're officially tuned in.
Hey, this is Monroe Bishop.
And this is Larry White.
And welcome to another episode of Tea with Monroe, the podcast. Actually, this is episode 57. On, honey, what's been happening with ya?
Nothing but bringing home the money.
Where's that?
Well, anyway.
No, ain't no anyway. Where's that? And speaking of money, this is what we're talking about today. I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to be talking about financial infidelity, one bed, one bank account. And I'm super excited about this topic. But before I get started, I have to talk about, what do I have to talk about?
You have to talk about.
I actually wanted to say I had this speech all written out, to be honest with you, because for a little while now we have actually been sort of off track with the direction of the podcast. So over the course of us continue to progress with the podcast, you'll see us more focused on relationship type topics, things that affect relationships like finances, and that's one of the things we're talking about today. But before I get started, I just want to go ahead and say that today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Gotta read my notes. Get a free audio download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Tea with Monroe. Once again, that's www.audibletrial.com/Tea with Monroe. They have over 180,000 titles out there to choose from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, MP3 player. So definitely check that out, and you get also a free download of a book of your choice with your trial membership. So definitely check that out. Okay, so back to finances. So this topic has been on my list for a very long time, but I did not approach it because other things got in the way, other topics. But I'm back again because I recently had a girlfriend who father has gone through a health scare. And, with insurance and, in his health and different things going on, they had to look at the finances in order to move forward with some things to progress with his care. And come to find out, the mother had no idea of her husband's finances. So my friend's mother had no idea of her father's finances. All she was given with the finances in terms of access to the money was a debit card and a limit. And he managed all the money. He paid all the bills. He did all these things. And so now he's not responsive. He's not able to provide the information that's needed to, because I guess when you have a certain type of health care, Medicare, Medicaid, they expect some type of financial documentation to support so they can determine if you qualify or not. Mm-hmm. And plus, I think it's needed also if you're going into a nursing home or some sort of long-term care facility. And again, this information is not available and it's locked up in a safe that nobody has the code to. And so when she was telling me this story, my heart broke, one, because her father's in such a critical condition, and the fact that the added stress of not being able to take care of things because he's in this position. So I just kind of wanted to talk about finances and about how when people get married, how important it is for, even though one person may manage the money, that both are aware of what's going on with the money, where the money is. I want to talk about joining bank accounts, which seems to be a big topic because I did my research, a big topic with a lot of couples not wanting to join bank accounts. It's not the thing to do these days. It's not very popular with all this independent stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And I'm guilty. We don't have a joint bank account for various reasons.
We had one.
We did?
Yeah, we had one.
Oh.
I just stopped using it.
Do we still have it?
No.
Where do we have it at? What bank?
Well, why? Wells Fargo.
See, that's a shame. We had a joint bank account, and I totally forgot. See, this is what I'm talking about. So, fortunately, to some degree, if anything happened to either one of us, hopefully we're in a good place to know where to find where the money is buried, right?
Yeah.
You sure? You know where my money's buried?
No.
And this is crazy because we have to think about these things. We think we're invincible. We think nothing ever happens to us. And we make these decisions that we go on with life. We don't get life insurance. We don't save money. We don't do all these things.
Right.
We need to figure this out.
Yeah, that's true.
So what are we gonna do about it? You gonna let me know where the money's buried? Your money's buried, not mine, but yours.
Yeah.
Where's buried?
In the backyard.
He's a lie because he's scared of the backyard. No, but seriously, I mean, this is a very touchy topic, and it came up and close and personal with us. I have some personal experiences I'm going to share through the tenure of the podcast, but just at the top of my head, because I did get your sister's permission, that's the closest person I know to me that recently went through a divorce, and she had no idea. She was a stay-at-home mom. How long was she married? How many years?
Years. Well, she was probably married about maybe about 9
I
or
make it
10
10
years.
years.
I think 10 years.
At the 10-year mark, and for whatever reason, they decided to go their separate ways. She was a stay-at-home mom, and he owned his own business.
No, they were married longer than 10 years.
Really? I think so too.
It was like 13 or 14 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and again, they decided to divorce, and when the rubber met the road, she had no idea where nothing was. No tax returns.
Right.
She believed everything he told her. He gave her money for allowances and different things like that. She had no idea where the money was buried.
Right. And
it put her in a very difficult financial situation because he wasn't so forthcoming, and he was selfish.
Well, he probably was selfish and all that, but I think a lot of that happened was kind of usually growing up in a church environment. When you do get married, it's the saying was the man controlled. You know, you let the man run the house, control. He's the man of the house type of thing. So he took care of everything.
Right.
And you're supposed to trust each other, and he wasn't doing right by her, but she was doing right by him.
And that's one of the reasons people do not put their finances together. Combine finances.
Well, I can say this from my experience. My first marriage, and I don't mind talking about it, but I had I had everything combined. I shared everything. It was a joint everything, but I did still control everything.
Right.
Most of the money was me earning it. I did most of the work. She pretty much supposedly took care of the house and stuff like that.
Which is a lot of work.
Yeah. And but you know, when things got hard or things got behind, you know, I was shutting things down, cutting back on things, and so she took it upon herself to sap money.
Sap? What you mean?
Yeah,
like Nick.
Like
Nick can pick on the money.
When I say shut it down, I meant shut it down.
No spending.
No spending.
Well, okay. Can I ask you why was there no spending? Was there some sort of goal you was trying to meet? Or?
Yeah, it was something going on, and you gotta set goals and things. Excuse me, and things like that. Now, I do know that most of the goals and most of the everything was mine. I wasn't discussing the goals.
Which is
I was, but I was discussing it with my solutions.
Right.
All right. So
you didn't give her any input.
I did, but mine works.
Your money, your rules.
And
that's jacked up, honey.
No.
That's jacked up, dude.
Anyway, so mine worked.
Okay.
Because it was about taking care of business, almost like a Dave Ramsey type of situation without even.
I will say you are very good with money.
Yeah, so I shut it down, and she didn't believe in shutting it down, so she created a whole. I don't know.
She
That
did
was
her own
that was
goals.
creative the way she created a system.
Now, what was the system? Because I need to learn this.
But you can't do it. I don't think you can do it anymore. So I never put restrictions on her as far as getting gas. If she needed, because I got gas so much because of my work. If she needed gas, I say, hey, I don't mind. Just if you need gas, get gas.
Right.
So back then, you could actually go to the gas station and get cash advance.
How?
You use
What,
your
like through the
card.
pump?
No.
Like go up to the window.
Right.
Oh.
And you could actually say, can I get, you buy something, can I get cash back? Just like at the
So
grocery,
can I
like
can
at
get
Kroger.
$20 in gas, but I want $30 back or $40 back.
Right.
Okay. But it comes across on your bank statement as if it's gas.
Right. It came across on my account.
I don't
as
remember
gas.
that.
And so, I mean, that's what it was. I know they stopped it. Either they slowed it down at most gas stations because probably some fraud or something. But,
Right.
But, it was a cash advance. And it was being done that way. And he was getting cash advances out of. And I'm looking at my statement like, man, you getting a lot of gas. Stay home. You go on too many places. And she just had all kind of perfumes, expensive perfumes. She had purses.
She was living it up on the gas money.
Living it up. That was just one scenario. Now there's other things she did that with
So-
money that I didn't agree with.
So did you figure this out while you were still in a relationship to order to fix it, to say, hey, what?
Towards the end of it wasn't to fix it, but I figured it out towards the end. Things start coming together. I start seeing, okay, this is what's been going on.
That's why it's so important to talk about money, not dictate what the money's going to do, but have communication about the money. Because like you said before, when we come together, you're supposed to trust who you with.
It's more than just trust, I think. I think that, like my sister, for example, like you said, she submissively said, hey, you handle it, you do whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
If you're going to do that, you got to make sure that both people are looking out for each other's best interests. Even towards the end of a situation, what happens is that people let's say get separated, go through a divorce or whatever.
Which they did.
They go through trying to hurt each other.
Yeah.
Or
The person you
right.
married or the person you divorced.
Right. And so when a person starts to, and I see this all the time, when a person starts to do something wrong, it could be an affair going on, it can be the person lose respect for the other partner, it could be the person
Finances, which is one of the biggest reasons people divorce.
Well, let me get to my point. It could be a dispute over something, or whether you tell them don't do this or don't do that as far as purchasing something or whatever it is. But my thing is, once the person in the emotions is the thing that ends up making people do things out of character from what they should be doing. So when somebody going through something and they be going through a depressing state, they'll spend up money where they know that they shouldn't, and it's combined money.
Are you talking about your sister's situation, or just in general?
In general, I mean, in general is what I'm speaking. That's
Okay.
kind of what people end up, why people when you come together, why people don't really. You're supposed to be on the same page, but not everybody stays on the same page. Is what I'm
Well,
trying to
just
say.
in her situation specifically, during the course of the marriage, she never took interest in the finances because things were being paid and taken care of to some extent. So she...
No, that wasn't it. It was... She wasn't working. So he was basically...
That's what I just said.
Giving her a certain amount of money.
Yeah, that's what I said. He was...
It was just enough money to take care of the basics.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That she never really took a lot of interest in what he was doing, because I know just through our conversations, I'm nosy, and so I started just asking little itty bitty questions, and that's when she was like, you know what? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know about the taxes. I said, well, you should be getting some refunds back. I mean, y'all have 6 children. Something, and he's a business owner, so something is not right with what it was out of balance, because she's being told there's very little money, but his lifestyle showed differently than the home lifestyle. So that was like a big thing. So during the course of the marriage, for all intents and purposes, on the outside looking in, it was not balanced. So it wasn't done. She wasn't treated, I'm just going to put it out there, she wasn't treated right in that aspect during the course of the marriage. So so in the end, it wouldn't have been any different. So for me personally, we all come from different money management backgrounds. Your mother instilled something different in you, or you learned something different based on the way she managed money. I learned different from based on the way that my mother managed money.
Right.
And I don't know how to manage money. I'm just going to put it out there. Okay? I make very bad financial choices when it comes to money, because I'm a buy here right now in the moment, stressed, depressed. I want to be happy. I want to be cute pair of shoes. Whatever I feel in that moment, that's what I'm doing.
Correct.
Regardless. You didn't have to agree with me.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm getting better. Thank goodness I got a rock who good with money. So, hey, sometimes he let me sit in my mess, but that's okay. That's another conversation.
Correct.
So, with my first marriage, and I have quite a few. So, because I've always worked. And so I married him, and when I married him, we never talked about money. We was just like we met running from the club in the shootout, running beside each other at the same speed. I should have known right then if he couldn't beat me running, something was wrong. I should have never married him. But we was running at the same speed from the club, and we connected that night. And so over the course of a few weeks, we ended up getting married. Then we just all on what's that drug in your body that's developed when you first meet somebody?
Adrenaline.
That's not adrenaline. It's euphoric. Not pheromones.
I don't
Something that the body is not necessarily. It keeps you in a euphoric state of mind. You're not seeing just like fluttery butterflies type stuff.
I don't really think it matters, but go ahead.
So anyway, we got married. My point was we didn't talk about nothing. We were just so in love, so infatuated. We just were so happy with just each other's company. We didn't even know each other. Right. So we ran to the courthouse. We pulled our parents together. We decided to get married. Never talked about anything. And then when I went to Georgia, because he was in the military, so I was going to follow him and I was going to stay with his parents while he was doing whatever. And I was going to meet him later, whatever. When I get to Georgia, she said, okay, now this is the mama. This is the mama, y'all. Okay, so I need to know what's in your bank account, what you have. I need to know where you planning on working. We need to get the job situation set up. And then when you get the job set up here, let me know, and I will give you the banking information so that you can have the money direct deposited into my bank account. And I will make sure everything is taken care of. So now I had been single for years, on my own for years. I already had a son. I had always been pretty much self-sufficient. I was surviving. So I'm like, what's she talking about? What's she talking to? I'm grown. So I called my boo at the time. I was like, your mama want me to give her my check. What is that? And my bank account information and what I have so far, so she could put it in our joint savings account. Now, not me and my husband's joints, but the family joint savings account. She literally...
They had a system they didn't tell you about.
Clearly. He had a system he didn't tell, but it was my fault because I never discussed money with him. Only thing I was looking at, I ain't gonna lie, he's in the military. I'm gonna get me some benefits. I'm gonna get me some life insurance. I could just work. I could live on base for free. I could ball out with my money because I'm living this presumption of what I think military life is like, because I'm a worker now regardless of what. So I was clueless. Second marriage, okay, we was similar. I married him too after a couple of weeks.
Yep.
I don't know what this couple of weeks thing, but we dated a little longer.
You was younger.
I was young, and I'm in love with being in love. I love to be married. I'm just a married type of girl. So I married him within a couple of weeks. So I broke my nail, and we never talked about money. But
telling these stories.
we got together. We never talked about money, but we was working at the same place, so we knew what each other made. We kind of bought our money together. So when we got married, we ran to the courthouse. Courthouse weddings are a trip. So I ran to the courthouse, got married with him. We decided to have a joint bank account, but then we started having these explosive fights. He had a car, I didn't have a car, but we pretty much was very open about the money. Pretty much what you make, what I make, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we got into this one fight, and I was like, well, I'm through or whatever. We forget this mess. I'm finna go get and look, so we was in Atlanta, Georgia. We racing to the bank. Now mind you, I don't have no car. It's snowing outside. So he had to jump in the car to try to get to the bank. I had to jump on the Motor City bus. Of course, he beat me to the bank. He took all our freaking money out the bank. Right. My money and his money, and left me with absolutely nothing. Then we end up getting back together. Then
how long y'all married?
14, 15 years. It was crazy. But this is the reason why I never got into a joint bank account with anybody again. Because we left Atlanta, we moved to Florida. And we got back together, put the money. I went to the bank. He got mad one day because I'm thinking everything fine. I'm not finna run you to the bank. Clearly, we break up to make up.
Right.
And I knew I wasn't going nowhere. I went to the bank one day. We got into a fight. I just went to just whatever. All the money going at the bank account. And he refused to give me anything back that time. And I still made up with him without my portion of the money. So I said all that to say this. This is why for a very long time, Larry and I didn't have a joint bank account, because that was my personal experience that kind of deterred me from wanting a joint bank account. I wanted to control. I felt like I made my money, I paid my bills.
I agree.
I wanted to control my money.
Concur.
So why don't you want to get a joint bank? Why didn't you want to get a joint bank account with me?
I concur.
What you mean you concur? What was your experience like? Was somebody running it?
You.
Yeah, but that's not a reason to have a joint bank account though with somebody.
I got money taken out too.
See,
I got at the end. All of a sudden, I got hit. My account got hit. Went up. Took people out to eat. Doing all kind of stuff. Took a whole group of people out to eat. Yeah. So I just don't do it. And I had mine open all the way to the end.
So just based on your experience, what could you give? What advice would you give to your children in terms of, because we believe in marriage, under the eyes of God and coming together as one, being one. So how can you justify keeping separate?
You really can't justify it. It is about trust. Bank accounts about trust. But I would say this. I personally believe as long as all the bills are being taken care of, and as long as you set things up, and if it works for you, I say, hey, it works for you. But a lot of people believe you need to be in the same account, same everything. I don't necessarily believe that anymore.
It doesn't work for everybody.
Well, it could work, but put it like this: when you have your accounts together, it's a little bit harder for you to have the freedom to just make decisions. You would have to make decisions together. So,
which is important,
right? So if somebody, like I said, I used to watch them. You got to be able to pay attention. Like some people get a check over to their wife and just give them the whole check, or have it go direct deposit.
You don't do that.
Listen. Yeah, exactly. And they just don't even pay attention. They don't care what's happening. The wife be saying, making the bills be paid. Next thing you know, the house is behind. They shopping.
Cars getting repossessed.
I see this all the time. I'm like, what? And so you just giving your check? Man, she's supposed to take out all the bills. That's laziness to me. So if you're not going to be involved, then I say you pay your own bills, let her pay her own bills. And if you paying her bills, then pay her bills. If that's what you take on to do, you pay her bills, and she pay. If her check is for her to have fun, let her have on account for that. That's what I say.
And you could have a joint bank account. Now, all this is a personal preference, depending on the couple. And
I just feel like if the man gonna pay the bills out of the man's account. If the wife got an account that she just, hey, I want to have fun with it, then have fun.
But you can have a joint bank account where, like, say for instance, like you and I split bills, or we both have our own set of bills. We don't necessarily split; we just have our own set of bills. Right. So we can have a joint bank account where the bill money is going, and then you can have your own separate checking account and savings account.
Whatever works.
But
Whatever.
Here's the thing. I didn't get permission from my other relative to ask them specifically, but they have a joint bank account where the bills are in. They have a separate checking and a separate savings, but they both have access to each other's account.
You can do that too.
But their name is not on the account. So
You can do that too.
Can I have access to your account?
Like I was saying, you can do how whatever works. And right now, I like the way it works.
I don't know what the problem is, y'all, because I am really, really a whole lot better with money. I really, I am.
She's better with money, guys. So she can pay bills now.
But we making it, we joking and stuff, but this is really important because because I started out young, getting married, and I didn't. Again, my background didn't teach me how or what to look for. It didn't teach me that when you marry somebody, you need to check their credit report. To see about their taxes, to see how they file taxes in terms of they owe money or if they back on their child support. Child support is not paid up like it should be. Just different things like that, to see that those things that it could affect the relationship financially once y'all get married. Nobody taught me this stuff. We have been taught to find you a good man. He got a good job. Just because he got a good job and make money does not mean he's the best at money. And you have to be able to, in a relationship, to decipher who's the better person at the money. Now, Larry is the better person at the money. I have not yet given up my autonomy with my money, but I think I probably would. I would trust him. The only hiccup I would have is I'm a splurge shopper. Like if I want to go, I need to go. And I have things I like to take care of, and I don't know if he'll give me a big enough allowance to take care of my stuff.
So this is how that works. The reason I like the way it's set up is because I don't mind paying bills. So my thing is I have a problem with being a little bit too not autonomous, but what's the opposite of that? Tight.
Well, autonomy is like I control my own stuff, my own money.
Okay, so I guess I'm autonomous, but I guess I'm a little tight and
frugal. He's frugal. Cheap. He's
frugal.
Cheap. He's frugal.
I'm not necessarily cheap. I think I'm more frugal, and so like I don't mind spending my money on something I really want to spend my money on, but I don't want to spend it on something I can have all the money in the world. It's something I don't think that's worth it. I want to pay for it.
And see, we have different things which we feel are worth things, and that's the problem.
So
shoes are worth it.
She balanced that out by things she does, because when I see her doing something, I just want to I need to help out. So it depends on what it is, and we do it like that. So it works. Like I said, it works for me. I don't know how she feel about it, but my goal is to make sure that we're both in a good position, because whatever it affects her is going to affect me.
Well, I sometimes feel like, I think the situation is fine like it is, but sometimes I do feel like because he does make more money, he should carry more of the responsibility in the house and give me more freedom to do what I want to do with my money.
Like I said, it works for us. Like it is.
He ain't right, y'all. He ain't right, but that's okay. But
yeah.
let's talk about more about, you touched on it a little bit about, the going to the gas station and getting cash back. Let's change this direction a little bit with financial infidelity, which I found, actually I've got a lot of my information from two articles, FATHERLY&nbsp, which talks about the financial infidelity where I guess they went out on a bachelor party. They was getting ready to get married. A group of friends, they went to a bachelor party, went to Vegas, and he won all this money. And he said, whatever y'all do, don't tell y'all girlfriends and know my wife, because this is my money. I earned this money before I got with her. She not going to know. He earned a big chunk of money. And the guy who wrote the article was like, why wouldn't he share his money? He's joining, coming together as one. They're going to be a family. Whatever. They come together, get married. Why would you hide this from your soon-to-be spouse? Yeah. But he did. So that was one of the things.
I think that was wrong to hide it.
Yeah.
Because, y'all excuse my voice. I think it's wrong to hide it, but It was his money before they got married. It's the same as somebody coming in with property or having money in their bank, and when they get married, now there's you gotta remember, I just really believe if you're young and you're coming together, and you got something prior to your marriage, it depends if you want to bring it together or not. It just really depends. If you don't, I just think that when you do got kids outside of marriage, see people you gotta. If you don't set nothing up for that, you have to set those kind of perimeters up for those people like that. But it was his money. He was wrong for hiding because that's something you don't need to hide. It's just your money. You got $100,000 or $1 million, but when you get married, are you not gonna share that with her? I mean, that's just not right. You at least give something to her. Hey, baby, I done got $1 million. I'm finna shoot you $100,000 in your bank. You know what I'm saying? Or 200, whatever it is. I don't think she'll care.
I don't either. You know, and it's not just instance like that, but the article goes on to talk about how we make purchases and hide them. Because, you know, women, even men,
do that
men are doing it more so now where they're making purchases and they're hiding it, especially if you don't have the same bank account or loaning out money to family members or giving money to family members.
That's real bad.
All that stuff is very deceptive.
Family members pulling on.
And, you know,
people.
buying stuff, knowing that you have a responsibility to take care of, but you choose. I ain't gonna lie, I done snuck a whole bunch of shoes in all my marriages because, you know, men don't place the same value and worth on things that we do. We have different things that we like to spend our money on. Like, I could really, a lot of times, care less about what you spend money on. Sometimes I don't understand it. But I'm good, you know. But if you see me, like I could say to Larry, God, Lee, I'm broke. But I go to Ross and find the shoes for $9.99. I thought you was broke. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, I got $10. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but now I'm feeling like, okay, so now because I said I'm broke, I can't even buy $10 shoes. So I bet you I won't tell him about these shoes the next time. I just go outside, scuff them up on the sidewalk.
I just expect people to spend differently if they say they're broke. One of my thing is when I say broke, that means that I'm not where I should be at. Not literally broke. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that that I need to change something I'm doing. That's what I feel like. I'm not, and I don't really say broke no more. I used to say that a lot, but I say I don't have it like right now to be doing it. You know, something.
Just I don't have this for that.
Right. I just think that people, you change your behavior if you something's going on. You don't just go buy no $10 shoes.
They
$10. But that could be me eating out. Cause you know that's me.
Exactly.
I say I ain't got my money funny or whatever it is, and
then you go to Whataburger.
And I go to Whataburger. You know, but I figure I'm hungry. I gotta eat. You know.
And I gotta walk. I need shoes. It's the same thing. I don't understand.
I know.
But listen to this. It says, okay, his research led to him surprisingly finding out about financial trickery. Now, tell me if you agree with this. A friend confessed to secretly diverting his wife's $2,000 bonus from their shared checking account into a savings account. He held onto the cash as a cushion for the future. Had she had known the money was there, her thoughts would have been about renovation, upgrade we've been putting off, he said. Believe me, the repairs weren't putting off costs way more than the $2,000. The story illustrates the classic money philosophy of clash of savers versus spenders. While that story ended happily, money differences often become money disasters. Now, if I find out that money's okay, so I'm not the best spender, and I found out that, and we have a joint, or you have access to my money, or whatever, and you look at the money moving around more than I do. I got money there and I'm spending, but I don't really look at the numbers hard.
Right.
And you see money, okay, I'm going to take this little change and put it over here because we may need this for a later date.
Right. He's really looking out for that family.
But he is because she may do something with the money that may not be needed at the time.
Right.
But that's wrong. Don't you think that's wrong?
I think they should have had a conversation of what we're doing, where we're moving forward with the money. Because even though she did, if somebody did that to me, me personally, I'll be thankful because it helped us. But not everybody see it the same way. Where she didn't pay attention, and she probably would have $200,000. She probably would have wanted to fix. Women live in the moment usually. They look at it. They spend money and they should do what they want to do with their money, and they enjoy. They want to enjoy their money right then. But no, and a lot of guys do that. Nobody seems to believe in putting stuff away for a rainy day or for the future. And I'm gonna tell you now, to me, I like to have liquid access to money. That means savings accounts,
right?
Versus putting the way in a tax deferred type of account, like a 401k or a IRA or whatever. Now, those are the better ways to put them away because
it's not easy access to it,
right? But you can't. Yeah, once you get it, you tax and you're penalized for it, or you got to pay for it
if you take it out before a certain time.
Right. So what I'm saying is, you need to have both. You need to have which one I need to be better about than the other, but you need to have liquid. You need to have a certain dollar amount. You need to have goals of what you're going to have as far as liquid money.
Right.
And then you need to have a goal as far as what you're going to need in your elderly years. You need to have enough that you can live off of.
Right.
So a lot of people go through savings, and then people have young kids and they look at college. And truthfully tell everybody, college is overrated and college is overspent. I mean, it's overpriced right now.
Overpriced, right.
So, and then people take out loans and put their lives in to the end. They got this thing set up and they got this thing jacked up for the rich to get rich and the poor to stay poor, or the middle class to stay middle class. So y'all really got to be smart about that. And if you're gonna do college, put some money away for your kids for college. But you also gotta look for them to get, even unless you become wealthy in the process, have them to be able to do something else for alternative money without taking out loans, student loans. But
we're gonna talk about that on another podcast.
Yeah, but this is part of finances, and
right.
This is part of people coming together. You gotta have a plan, and I just don't believe in giving people all your money. So I say liquid cash, and then you have 401k or whatever. So if that person did that and he put that money away, let's say he would have put it away in something where she couldn't get access to it, not a savings, but a 401k or whatever.
Now that would have been wrong.
I'd have been pissed
right.
at that, because now if I touch it, I gotta pay a chunk of my money. Gotta go somewhere else.
Well, luckily in this particular case, it was a happily ever ending story. She was okay with it because the money was still there, but she would have liked if he had talked to her about it first. And it says here he interviewed another person after she split with her husband. She learned that her ex had been evading taxes for years. She was shocked. She had seen him filing and mailing tax forms, but they had been fake. He really wasn't filing nothing. And when she found out the IRS threatened to garnish all her wages to recoup taxes, adding insult to injury, her ex cleared out their joint savings account. So I just think when you start seeing people doing really deceitful stuff when it comes to not just, not being a heavy spender or stuff, but then doing deceitful stuff, you really need to do what you're supposed to do to protect yourself, because ultimately you're both responsible when stuff like this happens.
Well, let me say this. Marriage is a investment.
Right.
Marriage is a responsibility. Marriage is a contract. Okay, so you get into a bad business. You basically you partnering up with somebody to share and to protect and take care of each other. So something happens to you, regardless of how we got our account set up, I gotta take care of that situation. Right. Same thing with you, with me. If I got sick, ill, whatever, you may have to support me. Okay, that's what marriage is. So when a person deceive their own spouse, hurt their spouse, and not protect their spouse, and do something like that, and they know it's going to affect them, because he was hiding it from her,
right?
And it seemed like he was trying to gain from whatever.
Yeah.
And he had no intentions on being there for long term then.
Right.
So that contract, that he basically, it's like a bad business deal, if that makes sense. So I just feel bad for the woman, but she didn't she should have followed up herself, finding out what's going on.
That's why it's so important not to just look at certain
trust
things.
what
Not
they
only,
saying,
you got to look at people and believe what you see,
Right.
and not just taking tests to see if they have diseases, but you need to
Right.
test them to see if they
But
how
that's the
they
one
handle
thing
their business dealings.
Right. So one of the things besides your finances and, like I said, a contract and investment, you're sharing your body. That's what you're there for. And and you into procreate and have kids if you're young enough to do that. I'm old, so I ain't fit to have no kids.
I want a baby.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm gonna pull one out there.
But seriously, money. I found reading through my research that money is one of the biggest causes for couple issues, more so than kids, sex, snoring, in-laws. Finances is one of the biggest things, and I think it's so important. Before you get married, that you do your research, that you are both on the same accord. Even if you spend differently, do things differently with your money, save differently, find the best approach that works for both of you in the relationship and be honest about it. Even when you make mistakes and spend a little too much or rush out and buy something that you didn't intend to buy on the spur of the moment and didn't have time to connect with your partner, just talk about these things, because I'm telling you, money will start wars, and you just want to set your marriage or your relationship on the right track in the beginning, and finances is a big thing to talk about. And whether you choose to have a joint bank account, separate bank, whatever you choose that works best for you, just make sure you communicate. Do you have any other?
No, that's good.
Good. All right. So, Anonymous T, before we end the show today, I think I want to divorce my husband. We've been together 9 years and married for 6. We've never had an argument. We are both really passive when it comes to issues. We split all the bills 50-50, and I take care of cooking and cleaning. I just feel like he's been more of a roommate than a spouse, and this is not the marriage I dreamt of. I am no longer happy. What would you do? That's big. That's like so vague.
I think she's being foolish. Let me tell you why.
Why?
You can rekindle. You can work on that.
Right.
She has not expressed this to him. He probably don't know no better. He probably don't know how.
Right.
What she wants. She's looking for a different kind of marriage. Now she can go get that. She can go try it, but you're gonna get something else also. Whenever you get you may get what you desire, but that person we're gonna lack some other way too.
Right.
She got benefits in that. This person, they split whatever they do. It's good. It works for her, obviously.
Right.
But she just wants something else as far as she's looking for
something. Honestly,
spicy or whatever it is she's looking for. Okay, go try to make that happen. Figure out what's going on there. Now, if she's just not attracted to him, then she needs to try to just work on it. That's what I'm gonna tell you. You're married. Okay, now if she don't want to be in the marriage, it's gonna cause problems, and maybe she needs to get on the body.
Well, I think the fact that she said, "I think I want a divorce," to me means like there's some hope there. And honestly, it's a very short synopsis of their situation. They seem to be working together for all intents and purposes in terms of life skills, surviving, working, paying bills, cooking, cleaning, stuff like that. She doesn't tell a lot about their relationship outside of that. So I really can't tell, but I agree with you that unless something dramatically dangerous is going on, she could try to work it out if that's what she chooses to do. I don't know why she's unhappy. It's very unclear because they pay. I mean, is she mad because he paying 50-50? Is she mad because he now help cooking and cleaning? If it's that trivial, that could be worked out. That's a communication thing and something that could be talked through, worked through, and resolved. But to me, I feel like it's a little bit more to that. A little bit more to the situation than what she's said in her comment, her post. So I don't know. Wish you well, girlfriend, whoever you are. Yeah. We'll pray for you. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in for another episode. Honey, how was that?
I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it too. So this means we're going to change some things up with our finances. We're going to have some communication. And
that's right.
And I think we should.
I would tell you more.
No, I think this is what I feel. Let's have the people decide. I think You are the better money manager,
I agree.
but I think you should give me a chance to manage, and you manage me while I manage. What you think? Give me all the money, and I pay all the bills.
I'll give you all the money that I want to give you,
But that's
and I'll let you. What?
all the money that you want to give me.
Yeah, that's what I said. All the money that I want to give you, and I'll manage you manage it.
I can't
I
stand
love
him.
it. I think it's wonderful.
Long as he ain't spending on something that I can't reciprocate, that he can't reciprocate with me from. Oh, that's another thing, but I ain't gonna talk about it since we're about to go. Anyway, everybody, thank you for tuning in for Tea with Monroe, the podcast. Thank you, all your loyal listeners. Thank you, new listeners. And also, if you have a anonymous tea, something you want to talk about, drama, advice, anything, email me at teawithmonroe@gmail.com. We will happily give you our advice. We're not professionals, but we've lived, so we know some stuff, okay? And, listen to me on iTunes. It's iTunes, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and YouTube. And also catch my podcast videos on YouTube, starting from this podcast on, okay? Also, share the podcast. If you want to be a part of my podcast group on Facebook, hit me up at... what is my group is Tea with Monroe, the podcast, but you may have to find me on Facebook, Monroe Bishop, in order to get access to the group, because it is a adult group. So if you want to be a part of some adult conversations and childishness at sometimes, reach out to me there. And also I'm on Twitter and Instagram. You want people to find you, honey? You care if they find you?
You can find me at Monroe Bishop.
All right, everybody, we out. Bye. He's so stupid. Woo! I appreciate everyone who is